Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires today. Just when I thought I wouldn't see these two titans of the game battling each other again for a while, just when I thought I was out,
they pull me back in.
As Hera, playing as the Georgians in blue, gets ready to take on Mr. Yo, playing as the Saracens in red. Now, while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today? Now, the Georgians are a cavalry-centric civilization with some pretty powerful economic features. To start with, all Georgian mounted units automatically regenerate HP and can be upgraded to take up 15% less population space, which does help them mass their unique unit, the Manaspa. This is a heavily armored cavalry unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units around. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, very important for the Georgians to take this empty piece of land. Not at all. This is the high ground because every Georgian unit, every Georgian building takes 40% less damage when it fights downhill compared to the usual 25%. Now, to help the Georgians build as big and powerful an army as possible, they do start the game, as we saw, with a free mule cart, but 50 less food. Their fortified churches increase the work rate of villagers nearby by 10%. And their economy can be much harder to raid since repairing buildings costs 25% fewer resources, and their defensive structures, which by the way includes their town centers, can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage. Now, pivoting to the south of the map, where we have Mr. Yo as the Saracens in red, a civilization whose strong market can be used to gain a very strong early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, Saracen markets only cost 75 wood, and their commodity trading fee is fixed at 5% right from the very beginning of the game, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civilizations have to pay when they, for example, buy food earlier on. Now, using this economic advantage, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting, tanky army. Their foot archers come with a small attack bonus against buildings, which makes their Feudal Age aggression a little bit scarier. Their camel units come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, their onagers can all be upgraded to get in a +15 increase to their attack. And their unique unit, the Mameluke, might potentially be a very big problem. Perhaps one that can't be overcome here for our Georgian, being a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a big attack bonus against cavalry. Now, if, as sometimes does happen in Age of Empires, you take a fight, you fight somewhere out on the map and your units take a little bit of damage to their HP, they get injured, well, then Saracen monks can be upgraded to automatically and passively heal multiple units nearby at the same time. Those are the two civilizations. It looks like both players sitting at 14-15 villagers apiece, and that is a good time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup. But before that, I'm just going to start the game saying that this is going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for Hera, seeing as how, I mean, if you've watched my casts, you know I fanboy out on the Saracens. Serious, that Mameluke is just one of my absolute favorite units in the game, and we're talking about a cavalry-centric civilization. Now, the Georgians, not exactly easy prey in the late game themselves. That Manaspa, when fully upgraded, comes with a 22 attack if it's got 21 or more Manaspas nearby. And by the way, Hera already doing a good job getting rid of Mr. Yo's eyeballs and getting rid of Mr. Yo's scouting, although Mr. Yo looks like he has converted a few sheep here that he is not doing anything with. Now, the Georgians, like I said, not exactly easy prey in the late game themselves. They've got hand cannoneers, they've got siege onagers, they're missing bombard cannons, I believe, but they are not a weak civilization at all. Now, the name of the game, I think, for Hera should be, although I hesitate to say should because I hate ever telling the players what to do or what I think they should be doing, but he's going to have to put on some good early game aggression against the Saracens. The last thing you want, as we've seen the Viper when he played the Saracens and took map control, is to give the Saracens a mile. Give them an inch and keep them at an inch, and don't give them any more, because the second that gold-intensive, powerful civilization takes control, yeah, it's basically GG. Especially when your most powerful unit is countered. The Manaspa, if you're not aware, does not have the highest amount of HP. I believe the fully upgraded elite Manaspa comes with a underwhelming 110 HP, which the Saracens, rather the Mameluke, with the +9 or +18, or rather 12. Sorry, I was thinking about a camel. Don't even get me started about the Saracen camels taking on these Manaspas. Mr. Yo having a plethora of options of how the hell to counter cavalry, so we'll see how Hera plays this. Like I said, perhaps an uphill battle for him, but being arguably the best player in the world right now, I am very curious to see how he chooses to overcome this. Anyway, that spiel aside, let's take a look at the bases. Let's take a look at the resources. Hera's primary gold a little bit in the front, but luckily for him, he's got a forest in front of it, so just needs to wall off the bottom here, and that gold should be safe. He's got additional gold to the top, and his primary and secondary stone are nice and secure in the back, as is a little bit of extra gold here, but a big open plain, so it might be problematic. For him, luckily, there's a lot of forest, a lot of small forests everywhere, so walling this off may not be the hardest task in the world. A random bamboo next to these autumnal oaks. Now look at the map. These two players are, hello, won't you be my neighbor? They are so close to each other. Mr. Yo, primary gold off to the side in a Hera-shaped pattern here. I guess if you tilt your head to the left, it's a Hera-shaped pattern. If you tilt it to the right, it's an eye. Oh no, oh no, oh no, is he gonna return the favor? No, he does not. Hera's scout. It escapes unharmed, but wait a second, escapes to where? There's nothing here for him. Let's keep an eye on that scout as we take a look at where the resources are for Mr. Yo. Primary gold, stone very exposed to the front. Additional gold to the back. Additional gold incredibly forward. And like I said, these are two bases that are very close to one another. So having your gold right here, that may not be great news for our Saracen. As the game glitches out at the usual 13-minute mark. It decides to delete a palisade, replace a palisade. Not too sure what was happening there. But right now, the kill count stands 1-0. Forests. Mr. Yo's base is essentially open. These forests are ridiculously far from his town center. Hera also, the northern portion of his base completely open, and Hera already placing an outpost. If you haven't seen his video recently about the importance of these structures, highly recommend you do. Some reason inexplicable to me, the pro players that I've seen very much underutilize outposts. Now, I guess that they do cost a little bit of stone. That being said, look at Hera's vision. Oh, he's got 4 outposts all around his base, unless you're, of course, the Ethiopians, in which case it doesn't cost any stone and does come with a +3 line of sight boost. But thanks to these outposts, Hera is going to see any kind of Saracen aggression coming a mile away, and we'll see if that helps him. Now, that might be a bit of a defensive play out of our Georgian. Sorry, I don't mean to keep zooming in and out so much. This might be a bit too defensive. Like I said, Hera needs to put on aggression right now. The last thing you want a cavalry civilization to face is the frickin' Saracens in the late stages of the game. Like I said, in addition to the Mameluke, which already comes with a +9, +12 attack bonus against cavalry, they do have the absolute insanity of a 145 HP camel in Castle Age that comes with a +9 attack again, also rather, against cavalry. And then if he upgrades it to heavy, if we're lucky enough for this game to go into Imperial, then that bonus jumps up to +18. And like I said, the Manaspa, despite being a unit that packs a massive 22 attack punch, it's still quite flimsy despite having amazing base armor. That being said, let's not try to predict where this game is going to go. I don't like to do that. That being said, like I said, Feudal Age aggression out of the Saracen with a +3 attack bonus against buildings. Okay, although he's attacking the farms. Okay, so choosing to use that bonus against buildings while giving Hera an opportunity to train some skirmishers to shoot away that army. So not exactly the greatest use of these archers from our Saracen for now, who will discover that this part is closed off. 1 kill apiece now. Hera got a scout. Mr. Yo got a skirmisher. Man, you know what? I just realized after a little over a year of doing this channel why I have such difficulty in Feudal Age with spearmen, scouts, and skirmishers all starting with the letter S. Although that makes me sound kind of dumb, but it is what it is. I am who I am. And you guys know that sometimes I'll say scout instead of skirmisher, especially monk and knight. Although monk and knight do not start with the same letter unless there's a silent K at the beginning of monk, like there's a silent K at the beginning of knight. Mr. loses another archer, a spearman. Hera loses another scout. Kill count is evened up to 3 apiece. No one has killed any archers, but Mr. Yo is here with an aggressive force of, what is this, 7 archers, and he can actually start tickling away at some of these structures. Remember, +2 attack bonus against buildings. Or is it +2 or +3? I give me a second. I think it's +3. But here's what's confusing about the Saracen bonus. If a generic archer that comes with no bonus against buildings, when it attacks, for example, a house, because you can't do 0 damage in Age of Empires when there's no bonus involved, it has to do a minimum of 1 damage. And so a normal generic archer from any civilization that doesn't have an attack bonus against buildings like the Saracens do would do 1 damage to that house. Now, when you add a bonus, all of a sudden you can do 0 damage, because then that bonus is added on top. So it becomes 0, and then you add 3, so 3 damage. So in reality, the +3 bonus that they have against buildings really only adds 2 extra damage. Does that make any sense? Do I sound like I've snorted a little bit of bath salts and started casting this? Oh, damn you, Mr. Yo, with your attack on the tiger. Although I guess it's better than MBL's attack on the horse the other day. Man, did that hit me after seeing that koala video that I mentioned yesterday. But that makes sense, right? Like, plus, it's one of those interesting Age of Empires things where even though it comes with a bonus of +3, it really only adds an extra 2 damage to buildings. Whereas if the developers wanted it to be 3, they should have made the bonus +4. But I'm assuming the developers know what the hell they're doing a lot better than I do. And so, yeah, it should be, all should be exactly as it is. All things should be balanced. Hera preemptively pulling his mule cart, his donkey cart, knowing that his opponent is now in castle, knowing / suspecting that he's about to face crossbows, because again, look at the vision of our Georgian. This is absolutely incredible out of him. Defensive tower on his only wood line, by the way. Can't get the wood over here, can't get the wood over here. Mr. Yo doing an amazing job with these crossbows, just maneuvering back and forth. Does lose a spearman, but I don't think he really cares to lose a spearman here. And Hera is still 40 seconds away from Castle Age, still 40 seconds away from being able to upgrade these basic skirmishers, which are going to struggle even now against crossbows that have ballistics in 40 seconds, but they do have Bodkin already. But now Hera's cocky. He's 13 seconds away. He wants to make sure Mr. Yo doesn't attack any more farms. Keeps laming 60 wood every single time. These are not Teutonic farms that are discounted. These are full-priced farms that Hera is losing more and more of. And, and look at the, I mean, this is just ridiculous. Look at how quickly that farm goes down. More and more units streaming across the map. Mr. Yo knows that Hera's biggest chance here is to put on a serious amount of aggression against them. And so Mr. Yo is doing a reverse Uno where he's putting on all of the aggression against his opponent. The question is to what end? What is the game plan here? I don't see any villagers on stone. He is in Castle Age. He does have nothing in the bank in terms of stones, literally 0 stone, whereas our Georgian has 665. What he doesn't have is gold mining now. He doesn't have his main gold here to the south. He doesn't have his secondary gold up here. His tertiary gold, I'm looking on the minimap, doesn't have any villagers. Hera's economy is just being gutted. He's got 1 lumberjacking industry. He's got no gold miners. The knight has discovered the gold miners who tried to run away carrying their big ingots of gold. At least drop off some of these ingots. Oh no. This is not a winning situation here for our Georgian. The only thing I can say is, again, he's got 725 stone. And this house is going to go down. Man, can the Saracens pack a punch. Everything from top to bottom in this civilization is just absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Yo, does he see the gold miners? No, he does not. This is not a Frankish knight with extra line of sight. I think even if it was, no, if it was, it would see the villagers with the extra 2 line of sight. Hera might not want to poke the bear here, because now the knight might see the... Yeah, now he sees the villagers. Not that he can really do anything about it, but perhaps immediately the crossbows turn around and will make their return to the base. Knights for Mr. Yo. He is housed at 75. Building a second town center does give him a little bit more population space, but he needs some housing. I don't see him building any houses at the moment. And now he's trying to blind his opponent, as Hera blinded him with the killing of that scout earlier on. Somebody take the high ground here. Both of them do. Mysterio goes to even higher ground. Fancy footwork out of both players, trying to counter one another with movement, with finesse, with grace. Be the shape of water, they say, as they kill each other here. But ultimately, the counter unit does what counter units do, and down goes the entire crossbow force to the north. Now, unfortunately for Hera, there's a second crossbow force to the south. Why here? I mean, I suspect here because there's crossbows. I should be more clear. Why build the castle to the left when your primary gold is here? You would think that he needs gold right now. Uh-oh. Immediately garrisons the villagers, a move that I absolutely love. And even without ballistics, Mysterio a little bit too fancy with the footwork and loses the knight. So all of a sudden, Hera takes a significant kill lead. And remember, the villagers can run into this fortified church and add as many arrows as they would in a normal town center, which is pretty decent amount of arrows. Has he secured a second lumberjacking area? Yes, he has. Okay, so Hera's economy stalled for a while, down 7 villagers, has the similar army supply. But now he's jacking lumber to the east. He's getting gold to the north. Main gold still hasn't been touched. Not too sure where these guys are going. They have axes in their hands, so they are going... I mean, I hope they don't just start jacking lumber right away, because this guy's carrying 10 stone. I don't think he's going to drop that stone off if he just starts hacking bamboo. Did he just lose that stone? I don't think that's how Age of Empires works. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I know when you finish constructing, for example, a mill, a farm, something, if you're carrying resources, you drop those resources off, but I don't think Hera dropped those resources off. The stone that those villagers were carrying. In any event, doesn't really need the stone at the moment. He has 700, enough for another castle. He already has a castle up and does have 1 Manaspa. Mysterio's going to discover the jacking of the lumber to the north. Hera's on move command. Doesn't really need to worry too much, though, not with 6 freaking pierce armor on the skirmisher. And that's all she wrote for now. And Hera feels comfortable, even though his outpost here has been denied to take the gold. So Hera, he's down 9 villagers. He's up 1 army count, but he's somehow stabilized. Now, this is probably the worst location for a fortified church for him. Why do I say that? Because the Georgians, within their aura, the radius of this fortified church, which I believe is 8 tiles. So I think it extends beyond the 6 range. So an extra 2 tiles in each direction here. The villagers work 10% faster. So these farmers are going to gather food faster than this guy. But these gold miners are not going to be affected. So again, not sure about that location for a fortified church. I'm sure there was a reason for it going there. Hera won't do anything without a reason. Saracen looks like he may have converted a knight here, but here come the camels. And what the hell do you do against a unit that has 145 HP in Castle Age? Weak as it is against anything but cavalry, it doesn't have to be strong. It's got 145 HP. The crossbows are going to try to close in on the monk so that the camels can close in on the skirmishers. Will they get him? No, they don't. The camels have to finish him off, but oh, not before he converts one of their own. Now, I believe they do come with a +5 attack bonus against each other. So Hera happy to run away with the skirmishers as this one converted camel, this free unit, wastes the time of his 2 former teammates. And now Hera's back inside the settlement. This is a better located fortified church. Gold miners, farmers. Another town center going up for our Georgians. So he's going up to 4 town centers. Decent economy. He's not really catching up. He's down 10 villagers. Let's take a look at our Saracen economy. 1, 2, 3, 4 town centers as well. And Mysterio is housed again. But he's going up to Imperial. And he's got 8 villagers on stone. Why is he rushing up to Imperial, I wonder? Yeah, that's a lot of resources to spend when you... I mean, I guess he must see the score and see that Hera is ahead. Mysterio has spent a lot of army. Look at the kill count. 47 kills to 28. And when we're talking about military, it's 47 to 22 because Mysterio has killed 6 villagers. Elite skirmishers on their way out do manage to gun down a few of these crossbows, or rather a crossbows. No, it looks like 2 actually. But he loses a monk. And now there's another castle up here. But the camels, the knight, they trample all over the building site. They don't have hard hats. They don't have vests. They don't have the proper permits to do it, but they did it nonetheless. Bloodlines. Forging. Okay, so our Georgian with 9 Manaspas is doubling down on the heavy cavalry, and in they come. How many of them are there? 6, 7. So they will have a +1 attack boost, even though there is no forging. And this is what what I was saying. Look at their HP. Even with Bloodlines, 95 HP against a unit that does 9 bonus damage. For actually, every single swipe of the scimitar here, every 2 seconds, takes off an extra 10% of this unit's HP. Which is just ridiculous. And yet again, 145. I don't think there's any unit in this game in Castle Age that's not unique, or Siege, that has 145 HP. Now, he's got to be careful, Mr. Yo. Counter schmounter, if you are outnumbered by your opponent about 8-1, then counter don't matter. Castle up, conscription being researched. There is 1 converted Manaspa here. And let's see what Monsieur decides to do. I mean, Monsieur's got camels, he's got knights, he's got Manaspas, he's got assembled himself quite a cavalry force. He also has 2 relics to the one of our opponent. I don't see a single relic on the map with the exception of this one. So someone's got that 4th relic. We'll see who it is. We'll see if it's Mr. Yo or Hera in a second, unless we catch one of the monks defying gravity and bringing it home. Manaspas do catch out a villager, but their attack is at a 14 right now. And Hera, seeing that his opponent is an Imperial, is going up to Imperial himself. Why are these 2 players going up to Imperial? I mean, I know for Hera, you want to get potentially hand cannoneers, siege onagers, elite Manaspas. Mr. Yo, I'm not too sure he really needed to go up to to Imperial so quickly. And now Mr. Yo's turn to wipe Hera's army off the face of the earth, and wipe it he does. He lost 2 units there in exchange for Hera's entire freaking army. A villager goes down for blue, a monk goes down for red, and all of a sudden, these villagers are now exposed. Attacking 2 at a time here. There's not enough Manaspas. No, there's not enough to give him the +1 attack. There's only 5. In come a few more, so now they should be at a +2. There they are. I think the range is something ridiculous, like 15 tiles on a Manaspa. And our Georgian cavalry civilization is switching to barracks, to infantry. Down will go another outpost as another Saracen castle goes up. But what did I just see? Yeah, there's a Georgian castle being put up here as well. A lot of villagers being sent forward. He wants to protect this stone. He doesn't want any kind of run-bys as well. So Mr. Yo has seen that Hera is going heavy on the Manaspas. In a second, he's going to see that Hera's an Imperial. I'm not surprised that we have 6 Mamelukes. Oh my god, hidden. Not exactly hidden cup, but hidden Mamelukes. What are you? Oh my goodness, how did he manage to sneak in an outpost? But Mr. Yo sees it. Mr. Yo sees it and sends these basic Dark Age scout to deal with this villager, and confused, she stumbles left, she stumbles right, and ultimately she stumbles to her demise. As Mr. Yo clears that villager from the back of his base, Hera, in the box formation that is now incredibly popular with pros, has 19 Manaspas. He needs 2 more to get them fully capped out. He is going halberdier. So he thinks Mr. Yo's going camels. Now, I'm not, who's kidding who? Halberdiers are also fantastic against Mamelukes if they can close. 18 attack, by the way, on the Manaspa. So he is just missing Blast Furnace, which is a minute away, and he will be capped out at 20. And then if he upgrades it to Elite, 22. So Hera's slowly amassing an incredibly powerful Manaspa army here, especially if Mr. Yo gives him another 45 seconds. On the other hand, our Saracen now has 4 castles, and he's going up to 17 Mamelukes. They're ungarrisoned. They're elite, so they're attacking as cavalry is 12. And the thing about Mamelukes is the freaking attack speed. Not a lot of counter units attack with a 2-second delay. A lot of them, where's your halberdier? Attack on a 3-second delay. They're at the bottom. Does he still have skirmishers? I believe they also attack on a 3-second delay. So the counter to the counter's power, if I can put it like that, is usually their slower attack speed. Okay, reveals this castle with the extra range. But the Mameluke does not have that problem. He attacks on 2. Now, Manaspas do attack faster. I think the usual 1.8, 1.9 of cavalry. But again, 27 of them are going to pack a wallop, and in 30 seconds, we're having elite. So we're potentially going to see elite Manaspas trying to take on elite Mamelukes, and the players are just adding more and more of their unique units. Now we're getting Bamaristan. So how many monks does he have? No monks at all. So Mr. Yo is going to train 2 monks. And then within a 5-tile radius, every single Saracen unit is going to be healed up at a ridiculous 75 HP per minute. Now, why am I so gung-ho about this upgrade? Because the usual healing radius of a monk is 4 tiles, unless you're talking about them Teutonic monks, which have 8. Every other civilization has 4 tiles. So Bamaristan, with its 5-tile passive, automatic, and multiple unit healing, is just going to make this army Wolverine with the healing factor, Deadpool with the healing factor. 1 Manaspa moves in. This is probably an exploratory Manaspa, wants to know what his opponent has behind us. The real battle is about to begin. 3 halberdiers die immediately. 4, 5. Oh no, Hera, no, Hera, back away. Hera, back the hell away. You are fighting uphill against the counter unit. Hera's committing here. I don't see any blue army left. No, what the hell just happened? Why did Hera commit there? That blue army just melted. And now Mr. Yo doesn't care if a few halberdiers close up. This Mameluke has 133 freaking HP. Even the elite Manaspa. Was I right about the 110? Yes, I was. And all of a sudden, yeah. And like that, Age of Empires, welcome to the reality of this game where in the blink of an eye, yeah, there you go. What the hell just happened? What? I mean, that was about as fanboy as you can get with the Mameluke. There must be a German word the Germans love with describing the most complex of human emotions in some ridiculously long, hilariously phrased word. There must be something about feeling both sad that a player loses his entire army in the blink of a freaking eye, and both joy at seeing one of your favorite units absolutely do what it was put on this earth to do, which is destroy cavalry. What the hell was Hera thinking? He has 30 Manaspas. He can afford to lose 9 before their 22 attack goes down to a 21. But not only is he chasing into a castle, FYI, not only is he chasing into a counter unit, he's also chasing uphill. Ay. Let's see what happened there. Let's keep an eye on the HP. So we've got 27 Manaspas and 13 Halbs after Hera lost a whole bunch of halberdiers here, and looks like 1 Manaspa back here as well. HP on the Mameluke's ridiculous, thanks to the Saracen 25% bonus on camel units. The HP's 1200 extra HP. Not that it even matters. I need to see. So we're at the... Let's see the exact moment of the engagement here. Okay, let's count this as the exact moment of the engagement. So 4418. Remember that number in your head, like a lotto number. Let's see how long it takes for the Saracen to just absolutely eviscerate this army and wipe it off the face of the earth. What is that, 23 seconds? 23 seconds is all it took for these Manaspa killers, these freaking Mamelukes. Holy shit. Hera took the time, built up his economy, put up with a whole bunch of raiding all over his base, was lamed from the gold, was lamed from the wood, was lamed from the secondary gold. Took all the time to invest the resources, build up his economy, get his strongest unit up to its most powerful potential with the exception of the last armor upgrade. It attacks on a 22. It has 7 base melee, or rather there's 7 melee armor. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, 23 in-game seconds. So divide that by 1.7, whatever the hell that is, like 12 human seconds, 13 human seconds. His army disappears like cotton candy placed in water. That's it. That's done. I'm highlighting. There's not a single blue unit left. My goodness. I mean, I said from the beginning this was going to be an uphill battle, but I didn't expect Hera to commit to a triple threat here. Castle, counter, high ground. And then once that army is dead, Mysterio brings in the contingent of reinforcement, the Dirty Seven, the Lucky Seven. And then there's nothing you can do against this unit. I mean, now they spread out. Those Trebs die in the blink of an eye. A castle is being placed. Not that Hera can see it. You got 2 Trebs as well. Siege engineers. Yeah, even with siege engineers. Oh my god. 14 attack. And then on top of that, plus 12. But again, my big thing with the Mamelukes is the seconds between attacks. The 2-second attack delay for a counter unit is just ridiculous. And Hera, I really do wonder why he took that fight. Did he feel pressured to take it? Were all the cool kids taking a fight and then they were peer pressuring him into it? He's got Manaspas flowing in from the north. His economy is not terrible. Maybe he thought his halberdiers could do a better job. Did he need hand cannoneers? He definitely had the gold for hand cannoneers. Not the food maybe, but the gold. Although if he didn't train all of those halberdiers, if he didn't invest in the halberdier upgrade, perhaps some hand cannoneers here would have helped out. Now the Mameluke is a pretty damn tanky unit with 133 HP. Look at this beautiful stream out of both players. Mamelukes to the west, Manaspas to the north, streaming in. And wow, like I said, in the blink of a freaking eye, the entire Georgian army disappears. And literally, like I said, an uphill battle. Why did Hera take that? Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't understand it. His economy was doing well. Maybe he looked at the score and said, hey, I'm down 50% in score. There is a 4,000 score difference from 12 to 8. Something's going on. I'm way too far behind. I need to take this fight. He saw Mysterio's giant army with all of his extra vision. Actually, or did he? Sorry, guys. I don't mean to keep rewinding and fast forwarding. Okay, so before the Mamelukes moved in, let's see Hera's vision. Okay, so he sees this body of Mamelukes moving forward with the Treb, which have a ridiculous amount of vision on them. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments below. I really do question. Maybe, like I said, the only thing I can think of is he looked at the score. He thought he was down in villagers, which he's right, but honestly, 20 villagers when you have 118? Not exactly the end of the world. Not when you've got fortified churches increasing the work rate. And how many fortified churches did he have? Oh, only 2. Okay. Never mind. I mean, he had 3 a second ago. I think this was a fortified church, right? The one that we saw earlier. Getting the gold miners, getting the farmers. So he had 2 or 3 fortified churches. He had enough resources for a few more if he wanted them. He secured the stone here. He secured the gold here. Mysterio's not really raiding with anything. Moving forward with a couple of villagers for who knows what. Perhaps this castle, or maybe not. They're moving kind of in the wrong direction for that. They also don't have hammers in their hands. No, this one does have a hammer. Okay, so she's building something. I don't know what these other 6 are doing. Actually, no, they've all got little hammer icons. Okay, so they were here to build the castle. I'm gonna look at the stats and see why perhaps we can glean any information from there. 58 Manaspas, 57 Mamelukes. I mean, this is just a foregone conclusion right now. This is like there's not even a real battle between these two. Peak APM, middle of the game, peak APM. Mr. Yo is always right at the very beginning of the game, queuing villagers, clicking furiously, exploring the map. And this is what I'm talking about. Look at the actual economies. This is about 10% difference. And even though all the resources going to our Saracen, let's take a look. Hera, he's not down that much in wood, not that much in food. Gold is basically identical. Stone is basically identical. So trash resources, I really don't understand it. 2 conversions, 1 conversion's not playing a role. Mysterio, 16 buildings demolished. Although I suspect a lot of that is outposts. And 1 very unlucky fortified church. 140 kills to 76. So even though Hera started the game with a lot more kills than his opponent on the defensive side. Ultimately, Mr. Yo doubles the kill count, 19 villagers to 8 as well. That was 6-0, so I guess 19 to 8 is a kind of an improvement. Hera at least got some villagers. And wow, oh wow, like I said, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if there are any German speakers, if there are any fancy schmancy German words for feeling at the same time the immense sadness at the loss of one of the coolest units in the game, together with immense happiness at seeing one of the coolest units in the game as well just doing what they do. And ultimately, though, Hera, oh my god, that army, like I said, 23 seconds is all it takes in Age of Empires. Doesn't matter if your Elo is 700, doesn't matter if your Elo is 2665. 23 seconds is all it takes. And with those 23 seconds, with the absolute power that is the Mameluke that has now overrun the Georgian base, even though it was a very much from the beginning, as I said, an uphill battle for the world's best player, Mr. Yo takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.